Hello, and welcome to Dairy Processing's Equipment Deep Dive. I'm Kristen Putch, Managing Editor of Dairy Processing. I'm happy to be joined today by Don Mattran, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at JAX Lubricant, headquartered in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Thanks for joining me today, Don.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Kristen. We're excited to talk about JAX and our involvement in the food grade lubricant space.
Great. Well, as you mentioned, today we're talking about JAX line of food grade oils and lubricants. So, Don, can you tell us about JAX and the customers that you're serving?
Yeah, absolutely. So JAX has been around for 70 years, specializing in high performance lubricants, and one of the main industries that we serve is the food and beverage market. So our customers range anywhere from large multinational companies that manufacture and process meat to smaller local producers around the world. All these customers have a few things in common. One of them being that they need their equipment to run smoothly, but they also need to make sure that they meet the strict regulations that the government and regulatory bodies require of them. And that's one of the things that our team does out in the field. We're out there day in, day out in these plants of our customers, making sure that we protect their most critical equipment.
And can you explain the different types of grease that may be found within a dairy processing plant?
Sure. So, dairy processing plants use a lot of different lubricants. They can be compressor oils, gear oils, hydraulic oils. There's a lot of different products used, but one of the critical ones include greases. And two of the most common greases that you'll find in these dairy processing plants are aluminum complex and calcium sulfonate. Both these greases have food grade and non-food grade versions. But today we're mainly talking about the food grade or the NSF H1 certified greases. So the calcium sulfonate and aluminum complex, when you talk about those two specific terms or phrases, refer to the thickener system, and they both have very different properties for how they perform in that dairy processing industry as well as other industries. And we can talk more about that if you have specific questions about where they're used or how they're used or some of the benefits.
Can you explain more about the calcium sulfonate greases?
Sure. Yeah. So calcium sulfonates is one of the, I would say, newer technology greases that are out there, and so there's some inherent properties that come along with it. A lot of performance for greases is based on the additive systems that's used as well as the base stocks. But if you look at the thickener systems alone without them being additized, the calcium sulfonates have that inherent property for EP and wear protection. So it is one of the newer technologies that are out there. It is a bit more expensive compared to some of the lower cost alternatives, but with where the industry has gone historically, that gap has really shrunk, and so now people are more concerned with performance versus just looking at cost. Again, calcium sulfonates are some of the higher performing greases in the market that are available today.
So, Don, what are some considerations dairy processors should take into account when selecting a food grade grease, and how do you ensure that the right grease is selected for your customers?
Yeah, we could probably talk for hours on this, and I'd rely on our grease chemists to give the best answer. But there are a lot of things that are taken into account to find the right grease. But the main thing is really the environment and the conditions that are present in the plants. So I think everyone listening to this knows that dairy processing has some very harsh environments. So high moisture, a lot of water is involved. Spray downs and you know cleaning regimens, and so you want to look at what types of temperatures you're looking at. Is it extremely high temperature, extremely low temperature? What kind of loads are involved? So is there a lot of stress being put on the equipment? Again, we talk about the amount of moisture in the air. And so taking all these things into account will allow you to determine what grease is the best choice when you combine all of those different components.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Don. If you're interested in learning more about JAX oils and lubricants, you can visit jax.com or call 262-781-8850. That is all the time we have for today. Don, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me about JAX solutions for dairy processors.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Kristen. We really appreciate it. And if anyone needs any help out there in their plants protecting their most critical equipment, we're here to help.
Great. And thank you all for watching Dairy Processing's Equipment Deep Dive.